This time, I'd like to call to order the Monday, July 21st, 2025 meeting of the Currituck County Board of Commissioners. At 5 p.m., we had a work session discussing Currituck County Soil and Water Supervisors and Drainage. We briefly discussed beach management and voting districts. At this time, if you'll please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a prayer. We don't have a pastor here tonight, so I'm going to do it. But before we do that, I do want to recognize Mr. Sammy Walker, that passed away this weekend. He's been a fixture in this county for a lot of years, and please keep their family in your thoughts and prayers. So let's have a moment of silence first. All right. And Father, we want to thank you for allowing us to be here tonight and for guiding us. We pray for wisdom, dear Father, and that we will follow the dictates of following the law and the rules as we should, dear Father, and that you will gain honor and glory from it. We ask it in your Son's name. Amen. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. This time I'm going to ask the attorney to go through the ethics awareness and conflicts of interest reminder.
Okay. Pursuant to GS 153A-44, a commissioner has a duty to vote on matters coming before the board, but may be excused from voting on issues involving the commissioner's own financial interest, official conduct, or on matters on which the commissioner is prohibited from voting under GS 14-234 or 160D-109. In accordance with Chapter 2, Division 3 of the Currituck County Code of Ordinances, it is the duty of every commissioner to avoid both conflicts of interest and appearances of conflict. Does any commissioner have any known conflict of interest or appearance of conflict with respect to any matters coming before the Board of Commissioners in this meeting? If so, please identify the conflict or appearance of conflict.
I just want to mention that the applicant tonight in the evidentiary hearing and I go to church together and serve on the administrative council. I know it's an appearance of conflict, but I just wanted to disclose that.
Based on that relationship, do you have a fixed opinion regarding the outcome of tonight's hearing?
I do not.
Okay.
I have the applicant, the same one she's referring to. He built my second home in the county in 2000, 25 years ago. So he was my contractor a long time ago, and played golf with CA before.
Yes.
I played golf with his son Clayton as well, but that was a while ago as well. So.
And again, I'll ask you the same question. Do you have a fixed opinion regarding the outcome of the public hearing tonight based on what you just said?
No.
Okay.
Just wanted to disclose it.
Anyone else? All right, hearing none, we'll move to item 3, approval of agenda.
Move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Next item is public comment. Please limit comments to matters other than those appearing on this agenda as a quasi-judicial evidentiary hearing. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes. We have no one signed up, so I will open the public hearing and close the public comment and close the public comment. Administrative reports. Number 1, Trillium Health Annual Report. Bobby Lowe, Regional Vice President.
Uh-oh. Not a good way to start.
It's okay. We're regular folks.
All right. Do I need to do something to make it come up? There it is.
Watching it, okay. Yep.
Got it. Okay. Got it now. Good evening. My name is Bobby Lowe. I'm the Regional Vice President with Trillium. Thank you for letting me come this evening and just give you our annual update and let you know what's been going on this past year. The mission at Trillium is really around transforming lives and building community well-being through partnerships and proven solutions. We do not provide direct care services to individuals, but we do assist our members in accessing services out in the community. We work with our members through a network of providers that are located all over the region we work in. There are thousands of providers we're contracted with now that we're managing physical health and behavioral health. So we now cover 46 counties. If you've been around for a while, you've seen this map change and shift from 14 to 18 to 24 to 28, and last year it became 46 counties across the state. Population is about 3.1 million in those 46 counties, and the other numbers are a breakdown of the membership of Trillium right now. And I'll go over that in some more detail. One thing that's been really important as we have grown and gotten so large is to make sure we still have very local connections. That's very important. Each of our regions, we have a regional makeup. Currituck falls in our northern region. Each of our regions has a regional advisory board that's made up of individuals from your counties. We have a consumer and family advisory council in each region. And our governing board is made up of people from our regional boards. Each region has a regional vice president, community empowerment staff, as well as community liaisons. And we do a lot of work in each county to try to stay involved, whether it's participate in different county meetings or committees or events, just to be present and share information. So for Currituck County, Commissioner Rose is on our board. She's our commissioner member. And then Dr. Barbara Courtney is our non-commissioner member who represents Currituck County on our board. I'm your regional vice president for the northern region. Tracy Webster, she is a community liaison coordinator. She actually works directly in Currituck County. She participates in meetings like your community protection team or your child fatality protection team. So for some data for numbers served, this year the data we're looking at is going to be from July to December. We started the tailored plan. That rolled out July 1st of last year, so it's a little bit different. Normally do a full fiscal year, but since our system had a massive change in July, we're going to share the data from then. So from July to December of 2024, we served 80,000 individuals, about 57,000 for mental health, just under 19,000 for substance use, and under 16,000 for developmental disability. That came to about $800 million across the 46 counties. So we've switched to the tailored plan that started on July 1st. If you've been around, you've heard about the Medicaid changes. That has been a very long process to get that started. We finally rolled it out. We are a year in now with the tailored plan. And what that means is for individuals who fit on our tailored plan Medicaid, for people who have the highest level of behavioral health, substance use, or developmental disability needs, we manage all of their health care. So that means we're helping them access behavioral health care, physical, as well as pharmacy benefits. When we rolled that out, we did learn some lessons. The call volume went up about 5 times. So we were getting, 10,000 calls a day. But we have people who are calling because now we're helping them access not just behavioral health, but their physical health as well. So we've done a lot of work to try to make sure people who fall on the tailored plan understand what it is and what it means and how they get care. We've also done a lot of work with our transportation vendors. Working with that was new to us, and that has been a huge process. And we also had to do a lot of extensions for providers to make sure there were flexibility so people did not lose their services. So for people who have Medicaid and have moderate to mild behavioral health needs, most people are served on one of the private insurance companies that manage Medicaid. Those are AmeriHealth, Blue Cross, United, WellCare, and Carolina Complete. They manage Medicaid for probably at least 80% of your county's population who have Medicaid. The process of Medicaid transformation has moved along. July 1 is when those private companies rolled out managing Medicaid. That was in 2021. We started the second phase, which was a tailored plan, in July of 2024. And the next big change is actually happening this December. And that's when the Child and Family Specialty Team rolls out. And that's when kids who are on foster care will fall under Healthy Blue to manage their Medicaid. So I said it was about 20% that we manage. This is just a breakdown of all 46 of our counties. We're the dark blue piece of pie in the chart. So the people we're managing, it is a very small number compared, but the people we're working with do have a much higher level of need. And I've got Currituck specific numbers. So this is just for Currituck County. In Currituck County, out of your Medicaid population, we have 336 who actually fall on the tailored plan. So for those people, we help them access physical health care, behavioral health, substance use, transportation, and their pharmacy benefits. With the Medicaid direct population, we probably about half of those are eligible for behavioral health services under us. But for everyone else, they're actually accessing their care through those private companies who manage Medicaid now. When we had our big consolidation last year, when we added those 18 counties, we went from 28 to 46 counties. We actually went in all 18 of those counties and we did town halls. We learned a lot, we got a lot of feedback, but one thing we remembered is we haven't done this in our original counties in a long time. So over the next year or so, you're going to see us start to roll out town halls in each of our original counties. So we'll let you know when those are going out because we do want people to come participate and share information. So just a couple of updates of things that are going around. Every year we bring naloxone kits to the county. Those were delivered recently to Currituck. We brought naloxone kits as well as some fentanyl and xylazine test strips. I wanted to bring up something that's not up here. That is what's called sequential intercept mapping. That's a process we're working with Judge Trevette to do. Actually, in Currituck will be the first county we're working on it with. And it really looks at where people interact with mental health and substance use in the justice system, from diversion all the way to release from jail. It's a 2-day workshop we'll be doing here. He's helping bring people to the table, and this will be the first time it's been done in this judicial district. So we're really excited to do that. That'll probably be around October, I think.
Yes, October 27th.
Yep. Yeah, we're working on getting that set up. We're also doing some prevention in the schools. We're going to be doing youth mental health first aid for the school staff next month. They reached out to get that set up on one of their professional development days. We're also working to bring in some post-center sessions, and that's substance use prevention for parents, staff, and kids. That should be coming up soon in the near future. So for some of our data for Currituck specifically, there were 340 people from July to December who received care through us, 219 for mental health, 79 for substance use, and 79 for developmental disabilities. And this is just some basic information on how members can access care. It's got our access line as well as our behavioral health crisis line. And that's all I have.
All right, questions?
Questions?
I just have a comment.
Okay.
Well, I just want to thank you for the help that you have given our opioid advisory board and our opioid program coordinator. All the help that you've got, the help that you're providing for the recovery court and the processes. So thank you, because you are a great partner with the county and all that we are trying to do. So I just want to thank you very much for all the help you've given us.
Well, I really appreciate it. She's a gem.
And the dates on that are the 16th and 17th of October.
Cool. I'm glad that's happening. That's the really neat process. And I hope people really will participate, because you end up with a map of what's in your county, what's missing, and where can we divert people in the justice system so people aren't just recycling again and again, because that happens.
Anyone else? Janet, thank you for serving on that board.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, Janet, thanks for taking my spot on that one.
Yes, Kevin.
All right, well, we thank you very much.
All right.
Next item is a quasi judicial evidentiary hearing. PB 25-08 Grandy Manor, request for a preliminary plat special use permit for a 20-lot conservation subdivision on property zoned single-family residential mainland. The subject properties are located between 732 Poplar Branch Road and Currituck Highway in Grandy, tax map 94, parcel 161G, formerly tax map 94, parcels 161B and 161C, and tax map 94, parcel 168, Poplar Branch Township. And I believe
Everybody's sworn in.
Ms. Turner is going to get everybody up so that we can swear them in. So anybody that wishes to speak to this agenda item in favor or opposition, or if you're a part of the presentation, I ask you to come forward. Put your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good evening to you and the rest of the board this evening. This is a request for a subdivision for preliminary plat special use permit for a 20-lot subdivision in Grandy, as you read. And you can see here's the aerial photography. The entrance to Carolina Club Drive is right across from the southern boundary of the parcel. The parcel is going to be accessed by Poplar Branch Road. Currently, the parcel is zoned single-family mainland. You may have noticed in your application packet that there was some notes about the parcels as well as what Chairman O'Neill just read, that subsequent to us receiving this application for a major subdivision, a minor subdivision was recorded. And so that's why those parcel numbers changed, and you can see those general business lots are showing up here on the map out front. So the rest of the parcel is zoned single-family residential mainland. And you may recall, or some of you may recall, that in June of last year, the property was rezoned, a portion from agriculture to single-family residential for the purpose of getting more density through a subdivision process. And so that was allowing, based on the staff report, an increase from about 7 lots to 20 lots. And the portion of the front was zone GB, and that was reduced to the lots that you see here. The Imagine Currituck future land use map shows the parcel as G3, which is mixed use centers and corridors on the front, or actually it's the rear if we're looking at Poplar Branch being the entrance to the subdivision, and G2 controlled growth. Here's the subdivision layout. It's a conservation subdivision with a woodlands and open space conservation theme. The total tract area is 23.04 acres. That includes a private right-of-way that will be converted into the right-of-way for this subdivision. So that particular little small portion is not included in the density calculation. The requested density is 0.87 dwelling units per acre, which is consistent with the zoning district as well as the land use plan classifications, the G2 allowing up to 2 dwelling units per acre and the G3 allowing up to 4 dwelling units per acre. The lot size is 25,000 square feet. That's minimum lot size for the SFM zoning district, and all these lots meet that minimum requirement. There's a minimum of 40% open space required, and you can see that a little bit more is proposed here, 40.2%. The conservation subdivisions require that the open space be preserved in a conservation easement, so that will occur here. Regarding landscaping, there will be street trees along the new Grandy Manor Way. There will be some streetscape landscaping out along Poplar Branch Road, and then the applicant will retain some trees along the rear of the property because of its proximity to Currituck Highway. There is a proposed cluster mailbox, and that's going here at the entrance to the subdivision on this open space parcel. That's not super clear, but hopefully it's more clear in your packet. Let's see. The subdivision will be on county water. Suitable site evaluations have been received for each proposed lot. Stormwater will be collected in lot line swales and roadside swales and into 2 wet ponds that are proposed, and then ultimately outfall to the north through Grandy Ditch to the Outlaw Ditch on the north. I'm sure the applicant will be able to answer any specific questions about the stormwater approach. The streets will be in a 50-foot wide right-of-way with sidewalks on both sides of the new street. The applicant will pay a fee in lieu of recreation and park area dedication for this particular subdivision. And I just wanted to mention a little bit about the community meeting. The board did in May make that change to the text to the ordinance that requires community meetings for subdivisions of more than 20 lots. So this particular subdivision did not need a community meeting. Let's see here. Here's some land use plan policies that may be relevant to the request. Specifically, some lower Currituck policies about development being properly planned so as not to adversely impact the character of the area. And to allow in G2 predominantly low to medium density residential developments that support a variety of housing types. And there's some Grandy sub-area policies as well to plan for continued growth as a community center and encourage clustered housing developments. Infrastructure policies regarding supporting provision of adequate services, including adequate public school facilities ordinance, that new development should connect to the county's water system and septic systems are a suitable, environmentally acceptable means of treating waste. There's transportation policies that may be relevant, as well as parks and rec policies where I mentioned that they will be paying the fee in lieu of parkland dedication for this project. In order to approve this special use permit that's requested, the board needs to be able to make a finding based on the applicant's presentation that the development is in compliance with the ordinance, will not endanger the public health or safety, injure the value of adjoining or abutting lands, and be in harmony with the area, be in conformity with the land use plan, and not exceed the county's ability to provide adequate public school facilities. Technical review committee comments are that the board may attach any conditions of approval, including timing limits on lots, to address adequate public school facilities, and that the application is in compliance with the ordinance. There are no outstanding comments with respect to the review of the subdivision, and I'd be happy to answer any questions at this time.
All right, anyone have questions?
Not for Jenny.
I have questions.
Okay.
There were some suggestions and concerns from Currituck Fire and EMS. Has any of that been addressed?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, most of these are just general suggestions. I think the applicant probably could walk through and speak to these and how they've addressed the comments that Chief Melton made here.
All right, anything else?
This is only concerning that back parcel, correct? Because the
Correct.
other two parcels that are in GB, this has nothing to do with those, correct?
Those were created through, so they're part of the parent parcel. So they were created through the minor subdivision ordinance that was just approved the last meeting, I believe. And, but no, this is only for the residential zone portion of the property.
Any other questions? Thank you, Ms. Turner. This time we'll ask the applicant to present.
Good evening, I'm Bill Brumsey, office address not too far away from here at 2883 Currituck Highway. For this quasi-judicial on Grandy Manor, the witnesses have already come up. We'll have Jason Mazzell and Kim Hamby from Timmons Group testifying on the land use portion of this, and Kim Tate with Tate Appraisals will be testifying on the impact this is going to have on the surrounding areas. The developer here is Howard Land Developers. You know them. They're long-standing Currituck people with a proven track record, and will do a good job with this development. So we look forward to working with the county to get this complete. First witness that we'll call will be Jason Mazzell. Jason, if you'll come up, and I'm gonna let you take the stage here, and I'll get out of the way.
My name is Jason Mazzell. I'm a professional land surveyor with the Timmons Group. Our business address is 1805 West City Drive, Elizabeth City. Thank you for having us this evening, and staff has done a great job of putting together a really concise report for you guys, but I'm going to go through just a couple of key things real quick just to surmise the.
Before we do that, explain for the board what your training experience is and how long you've been at this.
Been licensed as a land surveyor since 2010. I've been in the field since 1997. Have been doing work in and around Currituck County for the last 25 years.
And have you been admitted as an expert on land use issues before this board or any other county boards?
I have.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'd like to tender Mr. Mazzell as an expert in land use and surveying at this time.
Accepted.
All right, and as you were getting ready to do,
Sorry.
explain your role and tell us a little bit about this project.
Right. My role in this project is project manager, overseeing the permitting and land use applications. As Jenny has already shared with you, it's a 20-lot conservation subdivision. About roughly 40% or 9 acres of the property is being designated open space. That's going to consist of stormwater ponds. It's going to consist of the mailbox kiosk, landscape buffers, and any remaining land that's in the open space that's otherwise unused for those items will remain as wooded. The project consists of 20 lots, which is, like I said, 0.86 units per acre, so it's less than the 1% allowed by the zoning. Although we didn't have a community meeting required for the subdivision application, we did have one for the rezoning that took place last year. In that community meeting, we did discuss with the residents that came the plan for the development. At that time, the sketch plan that we had prepared, and we talked extensively about the adjacent land uses and drainage. So just please note that we have done that amount of research on the front end before ever even getting into this point. So the residents were very knowledgeable about the drainage in their area, where things drained, where they didn't drain, and that's very helpful to us in generating drainage models to help make sure that this development meets your UDO. That's kind of, like I said, staff's already given you kind of a much more dense rundown than what I could probably provide at this point. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you guys have and or Mr. Brumsey.
You want to have questions?
I do. Is most of the open space, with the exception of the, I guess that's the northeast section, is it going to stay wooded?
Yes, ma'am. If it's not required for stormwater, which the stormwater is going to be right there, kind of those two central areas. The majority of the open space that's going to remain wooded will be that section closest to Currituck Highway. That'll act as a buffer between this development and the commercial out front.
And so what about the open space between, that's behind lots 9 and 10?
Most of that's going to be stormwater pond. There'll be a little, probably triangle section that's not.
So those trees will be taken down in that section?
Anything we can leave, we will definitely try to leave.
Okay.
We have to leave a certain amount of space to get around the outside of the pond for maintenance and things of that nature, but anything that can be left will be left to kind of provide a buffer to the adjacent subdivision.
And is there parking at the mailbox kiosk?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because I know there was a concern about accessing that and blocking the road, no parking on the road and that type of thing.
No, there's a pull-off there and an ADA space.
Okay.
All right.
Will there be parking on the road?
No, ma'am.
No parking signs will be installed?
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone else?
The stormwater BMP, is there just one? I thought there was two. But
There's two. I don't think, do we have the grading plan, Jenny?
If you go to the next slide, hit that mouse.
Yeah. So
Okay.
there's
I got you. I
a
see the
fairly
second one.
large one there and then another one there. And they're offset that way because we have an existing ditch that runs through the development that carries stormwater from the adjacent subdivision. So we're separating out the drainage of this development so that we can capture it prior to that outfall ditch.
Okay, thank you.
Will there be any limited lighting in the neighborhood?
There's no lighting plan.
No lighting at all?
All right, while he's still up.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna walk through a couple of things here with him. In your opinion, is the use requested in compliance with the Imagine Currituck plan?
It is.
All right, and any other subparts of that plan as well?
It is in reference to the 2040 plan. It's fairly matching with the previous land use plan. I don't know the small areas plan captures this area, so that plan is a little further south.
And you agree with the staff report that it is in compliance?
I do.
Okay. And let's touch on the adequate public school facilities. So have you reviewed the staff report as it relates to the school facilities?
I have.
And you're in agreement with the staff report?
I am. Yeah, the biggest concern would be probably the high school, and they're projecting 2 students, so that's fully within the ability to handle that.
Perfect. All right. Those are all the questions that I have.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I'll call up Kim Hamby. We'll walk through the same thing that we walked through with Mr. Mizell about your qualifications. So tell the board about yourself, your experience, and any certifications that you might have.
Good evening, y'all. I'm Kim Hamby. I'm a civil engineer with Timmons Group, located in Elizabeth City. I have actually been doing land development work right here in northeastern North Carolina for over 30 years now. I've been a licensed professional engineer for 10, and I have done extensive stormwater modeling over the past 20 years, which is my primary reason for being here, I guess.
And have you been admitted to present evidence as an expert before this board before?
Yes, I have.
All right. I'd like to tender Ms. Hamby as an expert in stormwater management land use.
Accepted. Thank you.
All right. So tell the board a little bit about the stormwater management here for this project and what you're foreseeing for that.
We have had the soils evaluated by a soil scientist and have determined that unfortunately we'll have to use wet detention basins because of a combination of low infiltration rates and high seasonal high water table, which is pretty normal for the area. There is drainage that passes around and through this site that comes all the way from Currituck Highway through to Poplar Branch Road and under Poplar Branch Road and out to the Sound. We will not interfere with those drainage ditches. We're going to be bringing all the drainage from the subdivision internal to the streets through lot line swales. And then, as Jason already had mentioned, because the property is kind of bisected by an existing drainage route that we can't disturb, we're kind of looking at the subdivision in 2 pieces with providing stormwater control on each one. The ponds that we are showing here have been approximated based on calculations to determine a pre-development runoff based on a 2-year storm for wooded land, compared to a 10-year post-development storm, and we have taken that volume and assumed a foot of storage in the ponds, and that's how we develop the square footage for these ponds. We have run a pre-development model so far, but we will be modeling this with PC Swim software once we're given the go-ahead to proceed with construction plans. And of course, I'm very familiar with the county's stormwater ordinance and have been working well with McAdams, who's doing the third-party review on the county's part. And we look forward to making this happen.
All right. And in your opinion, will the use endanger the public health or safety?
No, sir.
And you agree with the staff's report in that respect as well?
I do.
Good. Those are all the questions I have.
All right, any questions?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Regarding the drainage, does this drainage cross under Poplar Branch Road by the church right there?
Yes. Yeah, the outfall is there at the church.
Are you aware that the original drainage, when it come underneath Poplar Branch Road, was further south. And the church over the years, if you go back and look at older drawings, you'll see this. The church over the years kept pushing that parking lot further north and filling in the original drainage area. And it actually jogged to the north. If you look at old drawings, you'll see where that happened. Is there any, I mean, because I know there's been some slower drainage because of that.
We have not yet looked at any particulars of change over the years, but we will certainly be evaluating. We do full downstream analysis where we will model the drainage ditches that run north off the property out to and under the road. We will have all of that collected.
Originally, I think that was, when it went under the culvert there, it was probably 20 to 30 feet south, closer to the church. And years ago, even when Stanley Griggs was, I mean, they kept pushing that property to make more parking lot, and they kept pushing the drainage out. And I've had a lot of concerns from residents in that area that was never addressed over the years. And you can go back and look at the original drawings to see where it actually was here, and now it's here.
I know we can see a lot of that on Google Earth, but no, that's not something, I haven't looked at past development over there.
So I guess, would that be a concern or something you would look into?
Well, I mean, we're going to look at what's there now. What's gone from however long ago the church did that really can't be a factor to us. We have to work with what's there now, and if for some reason we find that there is a very necessary downstream improvement, we would certainly
I know, like, here's some
take
families,
that in advisement.
The Outlaws back in there have had, when it gets really bad, they'll get some backed up flooding, and they actually showed me that and brought that to my attention a few years back.
Well,
so.
and I know Jason has talked to some of the nearby property owners. But yeah, we're going to look at the entire path downstream of this subdivision all the way to the water.
Are there any concerns about upstream?
We are taking in the upstream as well. We've already determined the upstream areas. We've collected drain maps from DOT and have looked at the drainage systems there to see how much water is coming to us even from the highway. Okay. So we take that into consideration, and we do water surface elevation comparisons to make sure that anything we do is not making any of that worse.
So is there two ditches on the property line south of the big BMP? Because in the drawing here, it says you're going to relocate one.
Turn your
mic on, Tom,
and speak into it.
Apologies. Is there two ditches on the property line right there? One on the north side, one on the south side, right below the big BMP.
Yes, the ditch that is currently on our property will be reworked because it's not draining the other properties. It's really just a little drain inside those woods.
Okay.
But we're going to make sure that there is maintenance left and all for the ditches that are carrying water from the other properties, because some of it even comes from the adjacent subdivision.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I'm good for now.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to recall Jason Mazzell just for a moment. Ms. Rose had a question about the EMS concerns that had been raised, and I would like for you to address that question that she had about that.
Sure. The majority of the comments that were on the TRC meeting from Fire and EMS, majority of those are recommendations. Some of these are things that are just merely recommendations. Some of these things are actually handled by ways like Ms. Rose mentioned, no parking signs. Well, that makes it so you don't need a 26-foot wide road if you don't allow parking to start with. All of the requirements that we have to meet for DOT also, correspond to fire code. The only difference being is the diameter of the cul-de-sac has to be 96 feet, which we've adequated to that. But no, all of these are just recommendations. They're not mandates. They're not requirements.
And you feel like they've been adequately addressed with the plan?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Tate? Will you state your name and address for the court? Oh, excuse me, for the board.
Court, all right, here we go.
I'm Kim Tate. I live at 1093 Water Lily Road, and I'm the president of Tate Appraisal and Consultation.
All right, and explain your training, background, experience as it relates to appraisals and land valuations.
I'm a professional real estate appraiser, graduated with a master's, a bachelor's in planning from Virginia Tech, and did graduate work at Old Dominion. Been involved with the Appraisal Institute my whole career. Been appraising for about 43 years in North Carolina and Virginia.
And have you been admitted as an expert before this board prior?
Yes, I have.
I attended Mr. Tate as an expert in land valuations.
Accepted.
All right, explain your role in this project, and then we'll work from there.
I was contacted by Mr. Howard to analyze the project that's before you to determine if it would have any impact on the adjacent property values in terms of valuation.
All right, walk through your analysis that you completed for the board and explain what your conclusions are with that.
The best way to go about that is to look at other developments that were in progress of being developed and look at sales and resales of homes adjacent to these developments to determine if the growth of a neighborhood next to them had an impact, good, bad, or indifferent. We did that, went back and found sales and resales adjacent to developments throughout Currituck County. A lot of this was centered up towards the Moyock area because that's where the vast majority of our development is. There's less and less of that mid-county currently, although we're seeing more of it come online. We looked at these sales and resales and measured the amount of appreciation on these sales over the period of the time frame from the first sale to the resale to determine an annual percentage rate of growth and appreciation. Then we looked at all the sales in Currituck County during the same time frames. Actually, it was a little bit later time frames to take a look at that to determine if what those rates of appreciation were across the board, across everything in Currituck, to determine that the properties that had sold and resold adjacent to developing neighborhoods did indeed not suffer any negative impact. What we found out was that by and large, when you adjust for the differences in time frames, because the resales were from 2017 through 2024, the average sales were a few years later, like the past 5 years. There was some difference because of the difference in time frame, but by and large, once the adjustments were made, the resales supported the same kind of appreciation overall as did the overall sales in Currituck County.
All right, so in your opinion, will the proposed use injure the value of the adjoining or abutting lands?
It will not.
And in your opinion, will the use be in harmony with the area where it's located?
Yes, it will.
Those are all the questions I have, Mr. Tate.
All right, questions for Mr. Tate?
Got a question. What surrounding developments did you kind of, in the close proximity, did you look at when you were evaluating these?
We looked all through mid-county Currituck. There wasn't a whole lot of sales and resales because properties down here tend to be more stable. There are some new sales going on, but not a whole lot of resale activity. Majority of our activity was from the south end of Moyock up towards the Virginia line.
And being the proximity of Waterview Shores and some of those other neighborhoods around there, you don't think that's going to have any impact on?
Well, I mean, we examined all kinds of projects that had sales and resales around them.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them were very large projects, like Waterley. We looked at some of the stuff along Tulse Creek Road that backed up to where Waterley was being developed. I would say that some of those houses are smaller in scale, closer to what you might find in Waterview Shores or that area. We also looked at ranch land that backed up to the new development right there, Foster Estates. Found some resales and sales in there, and those showed the same thing. So I don't know that.
Any impact on the
I think the impact would be negligible between the two.
Okay.
Do we know what type of homes will be built, like size, roughly, crawl space,
I don't know about
slab?
this. I'm guessing you might be able to talk to the developer a little bit more about that. My understanding is they're probably going to be in the 12 to 1,600 square foot range, and it'll probably fall in the price range of the low threes. But I mean, once again, we're talking planning stages, and by the time it comes out the box, we'd all like to know what the economy's doing then.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
All right, any other questions? I would submit if they're into 300,000s, they're probably going to be selling for more than most of the surrounding houses in that area.
Well, I
Or
think.
at equal to or a little better.
Well, probably so, and once again, I've shared this with y'all before, is that good development tends to enhance the resales of property around it, because there are people that maybe want to be in that new neighborhood but find something that's a resale. There's a couple smaller neighborhoods that have some older homes that may fall into their price range, but they may pay a premium to be near some newer development
Right.
than otherwise.
All right, thank you.
Those are all the witnesses and evidence that we have, and we'll.
Before
close that portion
Mr.
of the
Rumsey sits down, does anybody have any further questions of the witnesses?
I just had a question about, is it the developer's intention to be the builder? Will he be the builder for these 20 homes?
Yeah.
And if that's the case, is there phasing planned? Is there a definite plan for certain parts to be developed before the others?
There is no phasing plan presently in place.
So is it the intention that just build with the market, or is there a guess as to how long it will take to build the 20 homes?
Well, the build out is still a ways away, and I think a lot of what you're asking is going to be market driven. So it's hard to predict how quickly they will sell, but what build out, we're
One right behind the other.
okay, but when is this subdivision gonna be up and running in your opinion? Or Jason?
Honestly, I don't know. It depends upon what the county allows us to do.
Well, probably, 18 months from
Yeah,
now.
I was gonna say probably at least 18 months before
Start date.
before we're doing putting any houses up.
Okay, but we're not talking about like a national builder that would come in and put 20 houses up in,
That is not
6 months.
that is not the plan.
okay, all right. That's my concern. Thank you.
Thank you.
What do you typically build, 4 or 5 homes a year, 6?
Mr. Chairman, if I may interrupt, if there's more additional questions for the developer, he will need to be sworn in.
The developer wasn't sworn in, so if you have questions direct to the developer, he'd have to be sworn in.
All right, strike my question then.
It's up to you. Okay. Any other questions? Hearing none, thank you, Mr. Brumsey.
Thank you.
Next is anyone signed up? We had no one signed up to speak for this, so I'll open that public portion. Seeing none, I'll close that and ask the Board of Commissioners for their decision.
Mr. Chairman, if there's no other further questions on the board, I'm ready to make a motion. I move to approve the 25-08 Grandy Manor preliminary plat special use permit because the applicant has demonstrated the proposed use meets the review standards of the UDO. The use will not endanger the public health or safety. I would it was mentioned that there will be no parking signs put along the roadway of Grandy Manor Way to ensure that any fire apparatus or any emergency vehicles can get in there. Per the expert witness, the storm water will be addressed and presented for adequate drainage from the surrounding properties. The use will not injure the value of adjoining or abutting land and will be in harmony with the area in which is located. Per the expert testimony of Mr. Tate, and will not be impacting any of the nearby developments. It will not be impacted by the nearby developments. And the use will be in conformity with the Image Currituck 2040 Vision Plan and other officially adopted plans referencing Lower Currituck Policy 1.1, Lower Currituck Policy 1.2, and the Granny Sub Area 4.2. The use will not exceed the county's ability to provide adequate public schools. Griggs has capacity, and the supporting schools for that district, as of now, should be adequate. That's my motion.
We have a motion for approval. Do we have a second?
A second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen, ladies. Next item is new business ordinance amendment, section 3-64, animal tethering. I believe the attorney will.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The ordinance before you is an amendment to Chapter 3 in our Code of Ordinances, which is all about animals. This came to me as a recommendation from our director with the Animal Services and Animal Shelter. And what this does is it further clarifies what cruelty to animals is. And it's about tethering, and probably the easiest thing would be to just read in what this adds to what makes it unlawful as far as animal cruelty. It states that outdoor tethering of an animal does not meet the requirement of proper shelter and protection during a hurricane warning, or if the animal is not safe from predators or well-suited or equipped to tolerate its environment, unless an animal control officer has inspected an animal's individual circumstances and determined it to be safe from predators and well-suited and equipped to tolerate its environment. No such outdoor tethering during a heat advisory, a severe weather warning, or a period when the temperature is 85 degrees Fahrenheit or higher or 32 degrees Fahrenheit or lower shall constitute the provision of proper shelter. Any tether shall be at least 15 feet in length or 4 times the length of the animal, whichever is greater. And because this is an amendment to the ordinance, in order for it to be properly adopted, it would have to be a unanimous vote. The first reading, Commissioner Owen Etheridge is unable to attend this meeting. You can vote on it, but it will not be able to officially be adopted and put in place until the next meeting if a majority votes in favor of it.
All right, any
Mr.
questions?
Chairman, if I can say something.
Yes, sir.
What this, and I sit on the Animal Control Advisory Board. What this will do, it's going to take your frequent offenders that are just, I'm just be blunt, they're just poor dog owners. Some people don't need to have kids, and some people probably don't need to own animals. So the frequent flyers, that if a dog's quality of life is on a chain that's 4 foot long and it's sitting outside 24 hours a day, that could be something where we could be a violation. And like I said, and that's mainly where this came from. So like I said, it's a good thing, and it's, like I said, it's probably going to be some frequent flyers that are going to have some issue with it, but maybe they won't have animals after this is put into place, so that's a good thing.
I think it's a crying shame you even have to address this.
Yeah.
It's sad.
I got a question from the enforcement angle. I'm in favor of not harming animals, but like if you have a dog on a run, does the run count as the tether? Or is it just the tether to the run?
I guess
No, he's saying like, but basically where they've talked about this in
Hook to
the
a run
past,
line.
if they have like a
hook to
run,
line.
yeah, where they have a lead where they can run the length of this room,
30 feet or
that's
something.
not like it. I mean,
I don't
that's
think
not
that's
it.
a
It's the
tether.
ones that have the 4
Well,
foot.
I understand what we're aiming to do, but does the updated ordinance enforce what we're aiming to do and not?
So what you're asking, does this tethering effectively take
Does the-
into distance?
Yeah.
The distance that an animal can travel.
Yeah.
Well, it does define, it says that any tether shall be at least 15 feet in length or 4 times the length of the animal, whichever is greater.
Okay, but if I got a 10-foot line to a 50-foot run, is that a
But the
10-foot?
50-foot run is the tether.
But does it count?
But that's the 50 foot would be the tether.
Well, to me, technically, the tether would be I had Great Danes.
Yeah.
I think that it would. I think
Okay.
that it
I'm
would
just
because if you
making
look
sure.
at the, what it talks about during a hurricane warning or during severe heat or cold, if that animal is, no matter how long the tether is, it would still be in those conditions and may not be able to seek proper shelter.
Okay.
This is going to check just to be blunt, it's going to check the poor dog owners. It's sad that we have to have a common sense.
No, I'm
But
in,
yeah, like
I'm
I
in
said, no,
favor of
oh,
it.
yeah, no,
My
what-
dog sleeps in the dang bed with me.
Yeah, my lab does too, so,
Is
yeah.
it tethered to the bed?
Mine too.
No, I wish she was tethered
Mine
not to
too,
the bed
since we're all
sometimes.
confessing.
I don't have a dog.
But yeah, like I said, what it'll do is, it's the ones that, the frequent flyers where people get in trouble for stuff.
Yeah.
And it'll fix that problem. Or it gives some teeth for animal control. If somebody calls something in, it's 20 degrees outside and the dogs are out at night, they can go do their inspection, all that kind of stuff. So it's actually
Well,
it's
not,
a win-win.
Not everybody keeps their dog inside like us.
Yeah.
But, and you know, I know people that have a dog house for their dog and they have straw in it and they feel like their dog is warm in the winter. So would they be in violation? If they don't bring, are we saying that people have to bring their dogs
Only
No,
inside?
she said only if they're tethered.
No.
If they were on like a
Yeah.
4-foot chain, they'd be in violation.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah. Because like I said, their animal control does inspections all the time. If somebody's complaint driven, somebody calls something in and says, hey, this person's dog's outside because of this, and then they respond. And some of the dogs that, like you said, are outside or hunting dogs or whatever, they're treated,
Oh, yeah. Hunting dogs for sure are.
But they're generally tethered.
Contained.
Usually they're contained, but not tethered up, but they're in
That's
there,
true. They're in cages.
Yes.
This is going to take care of your frequent flyers when there's complaint driven and stuff like that, and the quality of life for an animal.
Okay.
All right, and your
Yep.
question was answered?
Yep.
All right, we need a motion.
So moved.
Have
For
a
approval.
motion for approval.
I'll second it.
Second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Item 2, sole source purchase resolution, Sulzer Products from Pete Duty and Associates.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-129E6, a local unit, a unit of local government can purchase apparatus, supplies, materials, or equipment when standardization or compatibility is an overriding consideration. The ordinance or the resolution before you is for the purchase of wastewater and water equipment and operational system pumps from Pete Duty and Associates, Inc.
All right, is number 3 the same people and number 4 the same people? Or just number,
You trying to group them together?
yeah, but if we can't, we'll just do them one at a
Or
time.
it's definitely not the same. It's a different company.
We'll just,
It's a different, they're
Just
different.
tell me.
we could have already done them, so I'll just do them one at a time.
Okay.
Need a motion on the first one?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 3, emergency purchase resolution, Sulzer Pump Ocean Sand Spray Field.
Yeah.
So moved.
What, not?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a resolution, it's an emergency authorization for, again, a pump for standardization and compatibility as allowed by the exemption in the general statute. There was an electrical issue at Ocean Sands, and it caused the pump to short out, and so we need to replace the pump.
Fairly quickly.
All right, I just have a quick question.
Sure.
This actually happened and we short-circuited and you needed the pump? And you had to wait for a commissioners meeting to be able to buy a pump?
To utilize the sole source exemption, yes.
For
We
state
have
statute.
one pump. There are 2 pumps, so there's one pump that is
Have a
operational.
backup going right now, yeah.
Okay, seems kind of silly that we would have to wait if you needed a pump. But anyways, any questions? Hearing none, we need a motion.
So moved.
Have a motion?
Second.
Second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Number 4, sole source purchase resolution, Shinwawa America Limited submersible non-clog pumps and parts from Preferred Sources, Inc.
Can you say that again, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Mr. Chairman,
That's on you.
this is also a sole source resolution to purchase pumps and related products compatible with current wastewater and water equipment and operational systems pursuant to GS 143-129E6 with Shinmawa America Limited.
Shinmaiwa?
Let's say it fast 3 times.
Shinmaiwa. There we go.
Yeah, I'm not.
All
I'm
right,
not quite
we
sure how to
have any
pronounce that.
questions?
No.
We need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion, second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
I do have a
Opposed?
question about that process for the last 3 items, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Is there a way that when you have something fail like that you could contact us and do a straw vote or something so that you could move forward?
That's what
No,
backups
that
are
would
for.
require, it would require a special you could do a special meeting if you had to.
And then you'd have to advertise it and all that good
That's
It
stuff.
needs to be
for
properly
sole source.
advertised.
Or sole source, if it was more than one.
Yes, are you talking about that? Or you're probably talking about the emergency situation?
Well, yeah, I'm talking about where we went from 2 pumps to 1 working.
Yeah, so that does require commissioner approval, but it gets rid of the requirement to go out for bid and things like that.
I mean,
Which is a
on that-
long, arduous process.
On that one quote, it says, where's it at? This is one, there's currently one in the country as of 7/1/25. So
Yeah. So I don't,
And we got that one?
that's what we got the quote for.
I don't want to continue this for the rest of the night,
No.
but to me, what if both of those pumps had went down and you couldn't get a meeting with the Board of Commissioners? You got to have, what, 48 hours
To
advertise? So what happens to the system?
Well, they probably could have put it in, and if we didn't prove it, they'd probably have to pull it right back out.
I mean, you can think about it and send us a little memo or something, but I'm with Miss
Possibly.
Rose. This is not the way to keep things running.
But it's mainly just because it's sole source, correct? If it would have been more than one company for a bid, they could, but I mean, this is
It
just
was
a
sole
rare, it's a
source
rarity.
and it was an emergency situation. Possibly, we could call, and I'd have to look at it to say for sure, but maybe an emergency meeting, if it came to that, which does not require that 48-hour notice. But we can certainly look into that and let you know.
Okay, for general information.
Good question.
I would just think we could question each person if we were in agreement to move forward, you know, but.
If there was more than
that would
one
be-
company, but it's sole source, you have to correct for the
Yeah, well,
county attorney. If it's sole source, we have to do it just because it's the only person. So if it was a
Correct.
$100,000 pump and they were the only person, they couldn't say, well, yeah, we got one, it's $1 million, you know.
If they were the only supplier or it's the product they sell is the only thing compatible with our existing system.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to get. If it's the whole pump assembly, you can get different pump assemblies. This was a specific part on that pump. But if it's the whole
Specific
pump-
part.
Yeah, but if it's the whole pump.
And that's not
probably
part of
could've-
the Shin Mawa or whatever.
I
The other
think
one.
we will continue this when you send us something.
That's why I didn't say anything, Tim,
Yeah.
because that's.
Number 5, board appointments, Animal Services and Control Advisory, reappoint Caitlin Garrett and Julie Morgan to full terms expiring 5/30/27.
So moved.
Have a motion?
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opioid Advisory, reappoint Karen Tiana, Allison Scholler, and Barbara Courtney to first full term expiring July 15th, 2027.
I would just like to just say something real quickly about that. These were one-year appointments when we formulated and formed the advisory board last year. Their one-year term is up, and now they will be transitioning to a regular 2-year term. And Mr. Chairman, I move for approval. They've all done a fantastic job.
And Mr. Chairman, before we
Well, we have a second, so discussion, yes, sir.
Quick, I mean, and we did pass a thing where somebody could sit on, and Dr. Barbara Courtney, she used to be my neighbor, great lady, but they can sit on more than one board, correct? We had passed something for that.
She's not our appointment, I don't think, to
I
Trillium.
thought she was for
I
Trillium.
don't think so. I think she,
No, she's not.
right, she's not
But even
our
if she was,
appointment.
she could sit on two boards, correct?
Yeah, but she's not our appointment, so she only sits on one board for us.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consent agenda.
Move for approval.
Motion, second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion, opposed? Motion carries. Commissioners report, Mr. McCord.
Condolences to Sammy Walker. I went to high school with Sammy, to his passing of his dad, Sam Walker. They were icons and still, good people as far as when Sammy Walker's grocery store, Mr. Walker, was a fixture. I think he was there 24/7 when they had the store. And Miss Francis worked at the sheriff's office. His wife, survived by his wife. She's always was super helpful, good people. I'm very sorry for the passing. And it's been hot. Stay hydrated. Traffic's crazy on the weekends.
Yeah,
People drive like idiots. That's never going to change. And be careful. And that's
Thank
it for
you.
me.
Mr. Angel.
Nothing.
Ms. Rose.
Well, I attended a social services board meeting and learned at that meeting that if you're interested in serving on that board, not only do you need to check the little information box for Ms. Walton, but for some of the positions on the board, you also have to fill out an application through the director, Samantha Hurd. So check and see what you need to do if you want to serve on that board. And I echo Commissioner Kevin McCord's sentiments for the Walker family, thinking of all of them. Mr. Sammy Walker actually served on the school board for several years, and his wife on the Board of Commissioners. Thinking of that family and keeping them in my prayers.
Mr. Payment.
I think Sammy's wife, I think she was actually the first female county manager, I think, for the county. Wasn't
Yeah,
Francis?
she
for
served
a
as
while,
chairman
yeah.
of the board and county
Manager
manager
for a
at one
while,
time.
yes. So anyways, but my condolences too. I did go to school with Sammy too, and very, a lot of history with that family in the county. But other than that, that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Jarvis.
Just real briefly, we had the honor of having Lieutenant Governor Rachel Hunt visit the COA campus. Lieutenant Governor Hunt has decided that she's going to visit all of the community colleges. There's 58 in the state, and ours was number 6. And she was so impressed by our campus here in Currituck for several reasons. One, she was blown away at the partnership between the county and COA in the public safety building. She commented about what a great experience that is and what a great partnership that must be. Proudly showed off the wall of all of the mural that we put in there of all the agencies that are there with COA's basic law enforcement training program. She also visited the aviation building and was further impressed by the fact that our aviation program is at the airport in the county. She believed that that was very rare, and it is, and we are very proud of that. And Currituck did shine, and she has even reached back out since that visit and would like us to reach out to other community colleges for them to emulate the student involvement that we had. So Currituck shone for that visit, and I'm very, very proud. I would also like to wish Owen a speedy recovery. We miss him, and we hope he will be back soon. And finally, I got to attend the Department of Social Services presentation. And I just want to commend Director Samantha Hurd for an incredible job, a very eye-opening job. One of the things that she mentioned in that meeting, and I know Commissioner McCord has echoed before, a lot of times people complain about things at social services, and they are the only voice that's heard because she legally cannot discuss the issues. So when you hear one side of the story, you legally are only allowed to get one side of the story. So I commend the job for our entire Department of Social Services and the discretion that they have to show. So thank you.
Thank you. And Madam Manager, I'm going to follow up from the conversation from our last meeting about the grass being mowed in Moyoc. I believe you said they are on schedule to do that 4 times a year.
Is prepared for that. They have, if you'll give me just one second.
That's okay. I think that's what your email said, is it's 4 times a year.
I think they cut it twice.
So they have 5 routine mowing cycles each year, along with 1 additional cleanup cycle. The first cycle began in April, and it takes approximately 6 weeks to complete. Once that cycle is finished, they begin the next one. Based on the current schedule, it looks like the mowing contractor will be back in the Moyoc area within this week.
Okay. That's the gateway into the county, and it looks horrible. It looks horrible. And I just think that DOT needs to take a little more pride in the roads when they're welcoming people into North Carolina, and especially through the Moyoc area there. Not that any other area is less. I'm just saying you got those ditches right there running along the railroad track, and it just, you got a little village over here, and you got grown up, looks like a jungle. So that's my 2 cents on that. My other thing is I would like to schedule a work session with our DOT board representative and some of their people to have them come and tell us what their plans are for Currituck, for the traffic, the roads, future expansion of roads, what it is that they plan to do to help us along here in Currituck County with the congestion that we have. We have no authority or power to address the traffic lights, the merge, yield, any of those things. And I know at one time they talked about putting a median down the highway from the state line down to, I believe, Guinea Road, and I believe but they've been talking to us about that. I've been off the board for over 8 years, and they were talking to us about that 10 years before I got off. So I've been talking about that for 20 years. I'd just like to know kind of what their plans are to open up Moyoc a little bit and make it a little more welcoming looking and taking care of some of that traffic. It is horrendous. And so if you could ask, I believe Ms. Judge is the representative now, Tess
correct.
Judge.
That's correct.
And if they could come and just meet with us with a work session, kind of let us know what Currituck can look forward to.
Okay. I will add, I did receive additional information about the feasibility study this afternoon, and they expect finalized roll maps to be released at the end of this month. The division is predicting this will aid the continued discussions with the public and will focus the scope on the preferred alternates. So that information will be available on their website when it's published.
And that's in regard to what?
That is for the feasibility study to 4-lane from the state line to Guinea Mill with the raised median.
Okay. Okay, well, that sounds good. And other than that, I just thank all the commissioners for their hard work, and the camaraderie that the board has is really good. I really appreciate that, and it's good to see. And with that, I will ask the county manager for her report.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to share that our new Veteran Services Officer started today. Noelle Gregory most recently held a position with the State Office of Military and Veteran Affairs in Elizabeth City and is a certified VSO and is ready to hit the ground running. So we will issue a press release likely tomorrow to introduce her to the community.
Could you send me her contact info?
Sure.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask the commissioner, or I'm sorry, can I ask the county manager?
Certainly can.
Sewer status, and can we get like an email on the sewer status for Moyoc? Because I'm getting phone calls. What's that? I'm getting phone calls for, I know we talked about it earlier. I'm getting phone calls for some future commercial development, and I want Raleigh to give us hey, the sewers, I know we've had the 2 violations in what, 7 months, 8 months? So if somebody from Raleigh needs to get a map to come out here to check it out, to see what we got to do to get it up and running, because that's just money just sitting there that we can't be
Well,
bringing in.
to piggyback off of that, not just about the current system, I'd like to know the status of the system that's to be built.
Sure.
We gave approval to hire somebody to draw the plans. I'd like to see a timeline
Okay.
of when that's going to come to us, and we can see a groundbreaking for that as well.
Sure, we mentioned at the last meeting that we were going to bring you a work session to discuss the service area for Moyoc Regional, so we can include that.
Okay. Anything else?
Thank you.
No, sir.
Thank you. County Attorney?
Just briefly, I attended the summer conference for county attorneys this past weekend, and it was, as always, it's great. It was sponsored by NCACC, and I get to see other county attorneys throughout the state and spend time with them and also get continuing education credit. So thank you for the opportunity for me to attend that.
All right. Anything else? Hearing none, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Have a motion? Second. Second, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, can stay.